big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liver 12 Man Show. Oh man, deadline day is done and dusted, or at least somewhat done and dusted. The unique thing about it is why I ended up. I was originally going to go live at 7 o'clock, but I decided to hold off a few hours or an hour or so, simply because there's a lot of deals that are made that are done just as the deadline is ending, and they're imposed to be extensions into the deadline window when after the deadline window is over, so that they can work out the kinks and figure out what they need to do. But oh man, it's been an absolute. It's been wild. I was just talking backstage with Scouse Lee, and I was talking backstage with JK, and I was talking about how we just had an absolute season jump off style game, season adrenaline shot to our season, our campaign, our 25-26 campaign yesterday against Arsenal. A game that saw, it was a little bit, it depends on how you look at it. Maybe some of you see it as ho-hum. I thought it wasn't the fireworks that I was necessarily hoping for, but boy, did my guy, the boss, okay, not Bruce Springsteen, but the boss, Dom, got in an absolute, possibly the best goal of the month, and brought us 3 points. And we should be talking about that, but we're not. We're going to talk about a summer window that could see us go clearly over close to $500 million spent in one summer window. That is absolutely incredible. So I appreciate each and every one of you that are joining us. Big crew I see is already in the audience. Bonkers, Edward, Red Armchair Supporter, thank you for saying hello and saying what's good. And let's get to our panel. We have JK. How are you doing today, brother?
All good, bro. What are you saying? All good, yeah?
Yeah. It's a bank holiday, as you guys like to say. So it's a good one. It's a definitely good one. And Lee, Scouse Lee, I'm not sure if Lee's back with us or not.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
All right. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Slightly disappointed, with the window not seemingly being complete with the Guehi thing, but we've got so much other stuff to be happy about, haven't we? That the disappointment won't last for long. Hopefully, we can cope anyway. Hopefully, we can cope until January, maybe bring them in, or alternatively, bring them in next summer for free. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the landscape will have changed entirely, and Leone will have stepped up. It's a bad one for the player himself, but it can always happen, can't it? It's not unknown for deals to fall apart like it does happen. I'm glad we got Isak over the line anyway. That's tremendous news.
It does happen. You're absolutely right about that. I mean,
to be honest, we're hoping Ibu and Virgil just stay fit, aren't we? For a lot of the games. I'm sure we see Leone in some of the Champions League games now. Because we haven't got Guehi, but we move forward anyway. We move forward with or without him, don't we? We're moving forward in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is some news that I do have to report. We did see Verts and we did see Ibu both leave the pitch. We'll go a little more in depth in that, but just so we can kind of take a little bit of a breath. It was reportedly due to cramping. It is a little bit of a concern for Verts in that we're already, 3 games into the season. He's had pretty much a full preseason to get up to speed. We've seen the same been said about PK, not said about cramping, but about not being 90 minutes fit for Premier League standards. And these are going to be two vital pieces for our team. So I would like to see them both get up to the standard and form that we need them to be in. And when it comes to Ibu, look, we've all voiced our concerns over Ibu's fitness. It also affects his form, obviously, but we'd like to see a fit Ibu. We'd like to see Kanate be able to stay on the pitch and be the partner that we need for our captain, BVD. But again, even he went down with a cramping issue. It was one where some notable names saw themselves have to leave the pitch yesterday, and that's for us and for Arsenal, to be honest with you. Saliba left because of, as I said before, or as I said yesterday, he left because he rolled his ankle in the pregame workup, whatever you want to call it, and apparently he was asked if he thought he could give it a go. I don't know what Arteta was thinking. I mean, this is like one of the bones of your team, and he rolls his ankle, and you're about to play in not only a Premier League game, albeit, but you're about to be at Anfield playing against, a highly intense and motivated offense in Liverpool, and you're saying, why don't you go out there and give it a whirl?
Give it a try and see how you do for the first few minutes. Give it a try.
Give it a try. What could be the harm? You can only make it worse. So, go figure. But yes, anyhow. Big up. Rasta Crab in the house. The streets have arrived, my people. The streets have arrived. Definitely interested to see what he has to say, because the streets were pretty adamant that we weren't getting Isak in for a little bit. Pretty adamant. He was done with the talk. He was done with hearing all about the Isak this and the Isak that. Had pretty much given up. Well, I'd like to hear how he's feeling today. Big up. I'm just playing with my brother. Adieri, I believe, AK, I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, all apologies. Big up though, and relatively new name, I think, to the chat. Good to see you. Good to meet you. Let's see. Big up. We got the legend known as Dustin. Definitely. Big up, Dustin.
Big up, Dustin.
And Lee WizKid in the house. Definitely. Big up to each and every one
bless
of you.
Lee.
Hi, Laura. Big up. Shout out to you too, by the way. I just don't know where to even begin. I mean, the records are being smashed. There's obviously sagas ending finally, in a good way. At least one of the sagas is ending. And the Reds are right in the heart of all of a lot of the headlines. I did see some. I think it was BBC, because I watched the BBC as they do that big transfer deadline show. And I did see that they also had some pundits on and the likes. Shout out to Dara, by the way. Big up.
Big up, Dara.
See you. Hope that you're well. Enjoying I don't know if you have your day off or not, but if you do, happy Labor Day. And obviously, we're going to be talking about Alexander Isak. Liverpool finally gotten their man after one of the most drawn-out sagas in, I'd say, in my recent memory. I don't know if you guys have a more drawn-out saga of every day it's going this way or going that way news. about a player possibly or possibly not going to your team.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
It
be
was the
talking.
first time. Yeah,
Go ahead,
go on,
finish,
bro.
finish your thought.
No,
No,
it was
finish your
just
thought.
like the way guys with microphones were acting on TV regarding the Isak deal. It's like they're all Newcastle fans. None of them wanted him to go to Newcastle, Liverpool. No one. I was thinking, like the guy who does it for Sly Sports. I think he's Scottish, the guy. I'm not sure, but he was acting like he's got a season ticket at Newcastle, the way he was talking. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, come on, man. Like, are you a Newcastle fan? Yeah, and not for me. If you're working for a big company like that, you shouldn't be biased in your reporting. Same as a commentary. You shouldn't be biased. You know what I mean? Gary Neville, he's really biased. You know what I mean? So this is the worst I've ever seen it in my whole life of football. This has been the
Gary
worst.
Neville talks out of his arse quite a lot, doesn't he? Where Liverpool
He gets away with it as well, bro.
from him. As far as Isak goes, he's had his position all along that he wants to move, and it's just nice that it has paid off for him and that he's got his move. It doesn't have to stay there. So we've got that. We've got Wirtz. We got Hugo, and Hugo started well. Didn't score against Arsenal, but he started well. Frimpong's out injured, isn't he? Hopefully he'll be back after the international break. And we've got Kerkaz, and Kerkaz had a good game, didn't he, against Arsenal? He was right in amongst it, wasn't he? Giving it his all because he was good against Arsenal.
He had a top game. Kirk has landed in that game. He's found his feet. And I said that it's all about timing with him. He's got the energy and he hit the point where he needs to start his career with us. And I said that, man. It's like I hope football fans have got patience with Wirtz as well. Everyone who we brought, Ekatike smashed it, bang. Kirkez did it yesterday. Frimpong, he's okay. He's not had a great sort of game where you can say he's landed. But Wirtz and Frimpong, they're going to land, you know what I mean? So for me, you got to have patience with new players.
You tend to have patience with players. People who don't have patience with players are usually, imbeciles, aren't they? If they judge players after a few games, that's a moron there talking. You know what I mean? So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see with our new lads. But signs are good so far. I think Bates has done enough personally, in his early exchanges with Premier League play.
He's done right. He's done okay.
Ekatike looks like he's been doing it for a while. The Arsenal game is a bit different for the entire side, the way they play and that, but it's encouraging, the signs so far, I would say. And the signs with Frimpong were encouraging, especially that goal in the Charity Shield.
Yeah. Oh, for Frimpong.
Yeah.
I thought Frimpong. If it wasn't for, there were a lot of people that were very. The one thing I was worried about Frimpong was if he was going to be a defensive liability, and he was actually playing well on defense for us. So. As long as he can hold up that end, we all know that he's got some blistering pace on the wing. That was like, hey, all those boxes were checked for me. But the one thing that none of us wanted to see was him get a quick hamstring injury. That could be a whole different story. I was going to say, we'll be talking about Marc Guéhi, obviously, because we all wanted him to be the defensive reinforcement that we needed on this team. We'll be talking about Harvey Elliott's departure. We'll be talking about Joe Gomez's no longer, but now it's certain, but at the time was uncertain future. And the deals swirling around the rest of the league that could shape this season's title race, which is something that we've seen. We've seen over $2.5 billion be used in this, exchanged in this transfer window.
It's probably the biggest one ever. Yeah.
$2.5 billion.
It's the biggest one ever, bro.
Astronomical. So tonight's show, we're going to get into this jam-packed episode for sure. We'll break down Arsenal's win as well. Arsenal's loss. We'll go in depth on every deadline deal involving Liverpool, obviously, and we'll finish by looking at the wider Premier League picture. So I would ask for you to buckle in because it's going to be a wild ride. But anyway, what's the bigger story for us going into this obviously transfer day? And is it Isak's signing, or is it our win yesterday? Is it Dominik's goal versus Arsenal in the win yesterday? What's the bigger story for you, Lee?
Sorry, between what two things?
What's the bigger story for you? For what do you think should be the bigger story? If Liverpool had their own newspaper, and Liverpool, the football club, at least, and you're the editor of the football of the paper, what is going to be the headline news? Is it Isak, signs? Isak is a red, or is it going to be, Dominik?
I would say it would be in a paper. Yeah, in a paper it would be like 60% Isak or 65% Isak and 35% talking about Guehi.
Come on, you got
it.
You're talking
Liverpool
about
was a newspaper like the Liverpool Echo. That's how it would be.
That's how they would do it.
We're
gonna do it like I don't want to say tabloid style, but like we're just going to do it where it's the one big picture that you're going to have. Like, who's going to be the picture? Is it going because you got to have either Isak or you got to have Dom. You can't have both there, even though I did that on my thumbnail.
The Guehi thing hasn't gone away. The Guehi thing is going to keep coming back up this season. Like, are we still interested? Have Palace found a replacement?
I can't get an answer out of it. People like to think that I'm a politician. Lee is doing his best politician role right here today, not giving us a real.
Talking of that type of thing, Glasner seems to have asserted some sort of authority there, doesn't he? Saying what you lined up for me wasn't good enough. They couldn't get this Igor Julio fella, and maybe if they got him as well as the French fella lad, they got Camvo.
Maybe we have a good story.
But like he sort of put his foot down, hasn't he, and said, "You better get me something good, like, or he ain't going anywhere."
No, maybe we do get a different story, but I'll ask JK. Maybe I can get an answer out of JK because he's already deflecting. He's already talking about Guehi wasn't even one of the options for the headline. JK, what would be your headline? Like, what you're making the thumbnail? Like, who is going to be front and center? Is it going to be Dom with that great goal, or is it going to be Isak with the signing?
Isak with the signing, bro. Transfer, British record, major signing. Like, come on. Like, it's a record. So you got to have that, man. Come on.
Okay. You can give me an answer in the chat, too, by the way. You're all welcome to the job since Lee doesn't want to hold it down. Treating me like Peter Parker over here.
The Isak thing will be the big story. That Isak is finally, after waiting what seems like an eternity for his Liverpool move, he's got it. And Newcastle have done their part, haven't they, by getting Walter Martin and Wissa. That story's over. The Guehi story goes on. Or it dies at some point. It dies for good at some point, which could always happen.
I wasn't expecting. Dara says definitely our win over Arsenal. Okay. I thought that maybe you would do the win, JK. I was surprised that you did the Isak thing, but I guess it's because it's the ending of the saga, maybe for you. You're just tired.
Yeah.
And finally, we have an answer. At least it's the positive one that we got our guy.
Yeah, exactly. Because imagine it didn't happen, bro. We'd be sitting here now thinking, like a lot of fans are saying it was a top window, this, that, and the other. And I've still said this morning, it weren't a great window unless we get these two wrapped up, and we've got one. So it's made it a better window, don't get me wrong. But I just feel that signing of Isaac is the world British record. It has to be major news, bro. You know, yesterday was yesterday, today is today.
Okay.
So what could have been on yesterday's paper? Sundays. The
If you met
Sunday.
Oliver Glasner, if you met Glasner, Igor Julio, and Steve Parish tomorrow, which one of them would you feel like punching more? Just a joke, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Parish, Igor Julio, or Glasner over this?
Sorry. I was looking at the chat here. They
Or
look
maybe
like
you'd
they
choose a headbutt. You get the general idea.
Yeah, I get the general idea. Okay. Red Armchair supporter says winning to open up a gap at the top of the league. Elvis says obviously Isak, guys, he improves any team in the world. Dara says our win against Arsenal was in the balance. Getting Isak wasn't. British record smashed. Hyler's talking about would like to be reminded about our £142 million transfer for Coutinho and how many years ago it was. Isn't that strange to think about? It was quite some time. You're right about that. There's also, let's see. Anyone else give a little answer to the question? I don't think so. So it looks like it looks like it's leaning more towards the game than it is towards the Isak deal. But there are people that do have the Isak deal. Do you want to take another stab at this?
Well,
Lee?
the game is yesterday's news, like, but
there's no 60-40. You got to pick one or the other. What headline? You know, Peter Parker came into the room and he's like, or no, Jimmy from the Daily Planet came into the room, and he's got two headline papers in front of you. One is Isak, and the other one is got Dom's face on it. Which one are you going with?
I'll read the one about Guehi. No, I'll read the Isak one because that's a story going forward that's about to unfold. The derby was yesterday. You know, it's wrapped up in chips now, like it's yesterday's news. Fish and chip paper it is now. It's the past.
I will tell you this. You know what's really funny? Chat, tell me if you've seen this as well, please do, because I'd love to hear how you responded or reacted to it. But panel today, excuse me. I was looking through some of the videos. I was on YouTube, and one of the videos, you know how they have the goal reaction videos, because we watched the goal reactions video yesterday. And, it was the goal reaction. We saw the rivals, how they reacted to Arsenal losing or Dom scoring that incredible goal. And what was wild, and what I will say, I can even accredit JK to why he might have picked Isak as his newspaper headline. They did a Isak signing with Liverpool reaction, like not a goal reaction. They did a Isak signing for Liverpool reaction, and then you got to see all the different takes from all the different so many different haters, but the majority of them Manchester United supporters. But oh my goodness, it would be as if they just lost a family member. It was so bad. It's so sad.
You know, as Liverpool fans, I can't imagine us fans doing that. If you know what I mean, like it's weird. Like I watch a lot of football and stuff, but I wouldn't really want to do watch-alongs for other teams and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's so focused on Liverpool. We're the greatest team in England, and because of that, the hate is more as well.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. I really thought that was interesting because there was a lot of optimism. I saw how Saeed reacted to it, for instance, and he was talking about how he was hoping that Newcastle would have more. I'm paraphrasing, but have more reserve or resolve to not give in. It was a funny take, and then some of the Newcastle takes. Oh my goodness! To go as far as like I've seen how we responded and reacted to Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving the team. Some of us were pretty heartbroken, I guess you could say, or lack of a better word, butthurt, you know. But at the same time, it's we move. There are a lot of Newcastle fans out there that are still in their feelings about it, very much in their feelings. But look, this let's start off with the LFC win. This wasn't a vintage. This wasn't a vintage attacking Liverpool game. I would say this was about resilience. I think this was about structure. It was about moments of quality. I would even go as far as this game obviously hinged on who was going to have that moment of brilliance. Szoboszlai asked to do a job at right back again, did so, stepped up with the kind of moments that separate good players from special players. And what I do mean by that is, look, I'm not going to go as far as to say the Hungarian Gerrard. I'm not even going down that route. Don't trust me on that. I'm not saying that at all. I do know that a lot of the memes that I've seen online are very much trying to make that connection. Very interesting. Other than the same kit number, that's about all I see for the moment. But all the same, there's a big. When I mean there's a canyon of memories for Dom to fill before he gets to Steven Gerrard level. I'm talking about Grand Canyon when it comes to the amount of memories that Stevie G has left us. And but this is just one for Dom. At least one. He's got others, but this is just one notable one. At least he's got many more hopefully to come. But that free kick from about 30 yards out, curling into the top corner. Anfield erupts, which it rightfully should have, because that goal came out of nowhere. Did you even think he was going to go for goal, by the way? Did you think he was going to go for goal, Lee?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once he decided he was going to have it, yeah. But I wasn't sure what was happening before, and none of us were totally sure. But he definitely stepped up to the plate, didn't he? Sensational. Yeah. It was nice seeing some of the Arsenal fans. There's only a couple of them stayed behind after it had emptied out with their hands on their heads. There was a couple of them that didn't have their hands on their heads, but were just muttering to themselves, like, inconsolable. Like you couldn't hear what they were muttering, but you could see them talking to themselves. Like,
did you think he was going to go for goal, JK?
As soon as Salah walked away from the situation, I said he's going to score today. So what's like from there? I just had a funny feeling. As soon as Salah walked, bang! I was like, but when it hit the post, it made that sound. You know that sound when it hits the post and goes in. Love it.
Yeah. That little ding,
ding.
Yeah. That's money. That's money in the bank.
That's yeah.
Let's see, what are you saying? I don't know what Green Day. I don't know what you guys are talking about in the chat. I'm behind on the chat. Sorry about that.
The new Superman film.
That
Apparently,
was
between
a waste.
Dara and Elvis. I haven't seen it. I only like the old ones with Christopher Reeve. Like,
I don't know what you're talking. What are you talking about?
the new Superman film. Apparently, Dara and Elvis
Oh,
have
yeah,
seen
yeah.
it.
Oh, okay. I got you. Understood. Oh, maybe they're making the reference because I made a reference to Clark. I made the Daily Planet reference.
Daily Planet.
Um, yeah, it was a far ways out, and I didn't know if he was going to go for goal, but I know he's got the range to do that. He's got the range to do it. Do you think, real quick, before I get into the rest of the segments that I have lined up for us, do you think that Dominik Szoboszlai should continue to take our free kicks? Or do you think that when Maka is fully fit, he should be on free kicks? Because it looks like it's either going to, because Maka has taken our free kicks for us. It's most likely going to be either Maka or Dominik, I would think. I personally even would like to see Virgil van Dijk. I know that's a wild shout.
You got it in.
I know it's a wild shout. I know, but I'm sure some might not like it. Some might be like, heck no. But I think Dom would be. Excuse me. I think Virgil would be a. I think it'd be cool to see Verge and Maka, Dom all be the Congress that gets to like this to delegate who gets the shot. Basically, I think that those should be the three players that are the possible contenders to take the shot. Nothing against Salah. This isn't that. This isn't a knock. But I don't want to see Salah standing over the free kicks.
Sorry, no, Mo's not good.
Is that too harsh to say about Salah? Is that I don't want to see him standing over the free kick?
Not his forte. Penalties, yes. Free kicks, no. Mo. He can do a lot of things, but free kicks ain't one.
Agreed, by the way, Red Armchair supporter. She's talking about BVD should have put his laces through the chance he had. He had a great chance at scoring. Usually he's on target with a lot of his, obviously he's incredibly accurate with his passing, can put the ball wherever he wants on a dime. But yeah, that opportunity that he had was one that he's probably still angry about, still very, very angry about. Let's see. Let's combine, I guess, when you do combine the momentum with the deadline day stories breaking all around us, obviously, Isak has undergone his medical. He is, I guess we're all just waiting for the shirt reveal, where they actually show that we have, where we have the player holding up the shirt. The Guehi thing, I know, is a lot of people are saying 100% dead. Like I said to the guys backstage, they did when the BBC was ending their broadcast, they did have a mention that Liverpool had put in the required paperwork to allow for the deal to be to give that window after the deal or after the window closes to get something done. I know some people are saying or claiming that the deal is dead, 100%. Some people are saying. Others, I've seen other places that it could still be arranged, even though I know Crystal Palace was hoping, because Crystal Palace did just sign a player. Now, he's not the Guehi replacement per se, But he is a defensive player that they signed at the deadline, and it helps. It's like a it's not it's not the Guehi replacement, but it is certainly helpful. Now, if we don't get this deal over the line, I don't know about you, but I'm not really. At first, I waver. I will admit this. I do waver because at times I'm like, oh, we need this defensive fortitude. This should be our top priority. And then at other times I'm like, but if we don't get it done, we'll move. We'll just basically, like as in, there's no use in what they say, no use in crying over spilled milk, you know. We'll just move. So, MM says Guehi will just be going through the motions now, head down and get on with it. He won't be the same player, and Glasner won't get the best from him anymore. Stupid move by Palace. Okay. I mean, I think Guehi's a professional. I think he'll do his best. He's the captain of the team, but it will be awkward in that locker room. I'll give you that, MM. It will be definitely awkward considering that the guy went and actually performed the medical. Paperwork was already in place. He performed the medical. Terms have already been agreed on, and now he's possibly returning to the locker room. That's a weird conversation. Hyler says, look at our XG. For every match we have played this season, we're scoring goals way below the XG in all the 3 matches. A misplaced sneeze, and Ekatike is there scoring on half a chance. Okay. Big up to You Never Walk Alone Fans TV. Big up. All right. But yeah, this Palace chaos is weird. Harvey Elliott, the Harvey Elliott news on his way to Villa. That's a crazy story. A lot of people had him going to RB, but now it's looking like he's going to stay in the Prem. Then you have Joey Gomez's situation hanging in the balance. This is the kind of day that obviously not only defines a window, but definitely could define an era or certainly the image of what our club is going to be all about. So, are you celebrating a good window? Like, as if you're giving it a grade, what would be your grade, Professor Lee?
For yesterday's game?
No, what would be your grade to our summer window?
Oh, it's got to be, let's see, we can't just do 1 to 10. We'll have to do out of 100. So out of 100, it's a 92 window because Palace didn't prepare enough or didn't want to prepare enough for Guehi's departure. That's it, really, isn't it? It's not on us. It's on them. They couldn't find the replacement, even though they had like over a month or whatever to do it. They had over a month to do it, but in the end, they couldn't find anybody. Their search was done. So, yeah, I'd give us, I'd say 92 window. I'll take 8 points off the 100 for this thing.
All right. So you're giving us an A. I see Red Armchair Supporter gave us a solid A, 95 or 9.5. Mm-hmm. JK, you've been very critical of our window, very outspoken. What would be your evaluation? What would be your 1 out of 100?
For me, yeah, the Isak deal, it definitely improves that score. I would say an 80 because I just felt like we're missing if you're really going to be pussy, a centre back, a DM, and a winger. So that'll be 3 players more, but a lot of people have left us, you know what I mean, bro? So it's been a top window. Works in Isak, come on. Like the Isak deal is big. It's pushed my appreciation of the window more, wrapping up Isak. So yeah, definitely improved it. I'll give it an 80, yeah. I just feel like we're lacking 1 or 2 more. Centre back, DM.
All right. Well, let's talk about the window a little bit and what we've seen happen for our sakes, at least what's going on for our team. And I'm on the same wavelength as Hyler is. He says he's still thinking about that Elliott transfer. He thinks the jury is still out. Harvey Elliott, fan favorite, boyhood dreamer, ringlets, and a player who gives Liverpool everything since arriving. I think he arrived. How old was he? Was he 16 when he arrived originally? How old was Harvey?
I think he was 17.
17, 16, 17 years old? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But with Verts now cemented in the attacking midfield role, we all know the writing pretty much is on the wall, especially with this signing today. It just adds to another clog to the to getting on the pitch for our attacking effort. So today it became official. Elliott is heading to Aston Villa on loan with a $35 million obligation to buy next summer. It's far south of the £50 million evaluation that we had on the player. I don't know if that maybe says something more on the lines of maybe Elliott wanted to stay in England. He wanted to stay for a relevant club rather than go to RB, who's not in Champions League, by the way, or the RB that he was going to isn't playing in Champions League. So it would have meant that he wasn't going to see Europe. Albeit Villa isn't in Champions League, but they're still in Europe. Villa get a young, hungry, technically gifted midfielder who will get minutes in the Europa League, like I spoke on, and in the Premier League as well. I think it's a valuable component to Emery's team, who does need some real outspoken creativity to be shown to the club, having their, I would say, subpar start towards their season. Liverpool, meanwhile, free up squad space, obviously, bank a strong fee, and avoid losing Elliott abroad. I guess you could look at it this way we can get a closer look and monitoring of his development. I do not know, and this is something that maybe your high lures or someone out there, big up Anfield Roar, by the way, but maybe someone in the chat saw some component of an article that I didn't get to see. But I know that originally we were angling that Elliott's deal would include a buyback clause. It's a term that I would like to see be a part of the deal as well. I understand it's a loan deal, but still, especially if we're going to give him a discounted rate for the $35 million obligation to buy, then I think we should see some type of a buyback clause rather than a sell-on clause. So I think that this might not be his last team, but it certainly will be a good team for him to develop under. One of the best coaches in Europe, by the way, I think, personally. But it's a bittersweet end to what I think is a very, very talented young player. I know it makes sense for all parties. Elliott has made, though, 149 appearances for Liverpool. It's a lot for a player that's, under 23 years old. He's not leaving quietly. He's leaving with his name obviously etched into our story, with very, very big, playing very big parts in a lot of our trophies that we have in our cabinet. But I'll ask this to the panel. Did Liverpool make the right move in moving on from Harvey Elliott? Or should we have kept him as squad?
Mm-hmm. Go on, bro.
I would say, I'll go on.
I would have kept him. Like, you know what the season's like. Injuries, suspensions, all this. Elliott is the type of guy you can sort of rely on him. He'll come on the pitch and he'll do something. Maybe he scored 3 Champions League goals last season in 3 games. You know what I mean? Worth having at the club for 1 more year for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As a sub, no problem.
What do you think of the idea that if we allowed him to go to Palace instead of Villa on loan, we could have secured? I doubt it, mate. Wouldn't have made any difference to get to Glasgow or to bringing in a new attacking type player and not having. Look, they had ages to do it and they couldn't do it, so that tells me that they never really wanted to do it. At least the people in charge of picking the team, the people in charge of the money. They will have wanted it probably, but it didn't happen. Sometimes it goes like that. And Glasgow's got his wish to keep him.
Look, I seen an interview with Glasner yesterday. He did an interview at a press conference after the game and stuff. And in that press conference, bro, he was straight out. I don't want him to go this, that, and the other. And I was like, ooh. As soon as I seen that, I was like, ooh, could be tricky, that one. Especially if they ain't lining someone up and that. So,
what does that tell you? That he doesn't want to let him go? He's a bloody good player.
He's a good player, and he's the captain, and everything rests on him. If you understand what I mean. Look at Eze, bro. He just walked out the other day straight to Arsenal, child. No first, no nothing. I mean, this was on Liverpool.
We're going to get into definitely the Crystal Palace situation. Obviously, because we're going to talk about Joey Gomez. We're also going to talk about obviously the big deal of Isak and Guehi as well. But Elliott are one of the, I think, adrenaline shots. He was basically our Red Bull to the team in a sense, in that he was pure adrenaline. He got into so many different games for Klopp. Not so much for Slot. He wasn't necessarily one of his preferred choices off the bench, but when given the chance, given the opportunity, he actually had one of the biggest goals for us against Paris Saint-Germain. And hey, you got to give him credit. And he's also had some great. He also, I think it was Crystal Palace that he had a winner against too. I think he had a winner against Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
because he was wearing the people affectionately call it the Minecraft Liverpool kit, but it's like green and white, green. He did, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, he had the winner against Crystal Palace. So
for me, I remember his Wolves away goal outside the box, bang. Yeah, fair play to Elliott, proper professional, bro. Like top lad, proper Liverpool fan. Yeah, like that, you know what I mean? So I wish him the best anyway.
Yeah, I agree with Kama too. By the way, Elliott should have had more game time. Let's be honest, he should have. There's a couple players on this team that some of us have pointed out, at least, that we believe they should have more playing time than the actual playing time they do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marc Guéhi. Big up to the reigning and undisputed champion of the Fantasy Football League. Big up.
I have to say, if Harvey Elliott can score against Man United for Villa this season, I'll laugh my head off, especially if it's the winner.
Yeah, Isaac's confirmed, bro.
Badly, mate. Villa have been shit so far, haven't they? He's got to get it together, Emery, which I think he will. And hopefully by the time they play United and Arsenal, he will have. And Elliott can have a go at Arsenal and United for us.
Like Liverpool
can't play against us, can he? He can't play against us on loan, so.
No, you can't.
Liverpool have posted like an official Isak signing, bang. So it's official now, bro.
There you have it, people.
It says worth the wait.
It.
Isak third. So he's official now, bro. Nice.
That is beautiful. Yeah, good old ringlets. Good old ringlets. Well, we wish you luck, Elliot. I hope that you can do wonders with your career, and I hope that you continue to develop and get stronger and the best of you and your family, for sure. But there is another player that there is another player that I think was on some of our minds as to what exactly was going to be his future, and that's Joe Gomez. What a roller coaster week it's been for him. He came off the bench against Arsenal. I personally thought he was impressive against Arsenal. I'll bring out some of the like really, really great stats that he had against Arsenal. Maybe it'll influence some of you in your ratings for him. But Virgil van Dijk himself praised him publicly, meaning he praised Joe Gomez publicly, calling him not only a true friend, but an absolute fighter. I know Deadline Day was whispering that it might be the end to his Liverpool career, but Virgil was actually actively saying that he doesn't want to see Joe go. AC Milan reportedly made a £13 million bid, wasn't accepted. Crystal Palace even asked about him in a Guehi swap scenario, which is very, very interesting that we didn't perform that deal. I thought that was very interesting when I heard that they're looking at a swap scenario. Especially because it would have meant that Joe could move back closer to his family roots. I know he's from the outside London area, I believe, right? And I know that some people have spoken about how maybe eventually he'll look to move back to that portion of England. I also thought it was interesting because we will end up getting our man, we're getting our player, but I don't think it was about going like for us in the sense of doing 1 for 1. It was more so about doing 1+1 when it came to our defense, and we didn't bite. The timing, the lack of depth, like I spoke on, the fact that Gomez remains one of the most versatile defenders in the squad, all worked against the Sale. I mean, there are those that don't want to see him play left back or right back or possibly even left back. I know that there were times when people were saying that they don't want to see him play center half, So there's been measures and moments where he's had his critics kind of waver on one side of the fence or the other. Charlton, thank you, Zia. Thank you. And Mukama, yes, that's right. He is a fighter, but all of those injuries are crazy. I agree. I absolutely agree. See how Joe, you see how ripped Joe Gomez is when getting ready to come on. I did see that he's been working the muscles. Yes, he's actually been putting in the work in the gym, which is great. But it does look like Gomez is staying for now. I don't know if that doesn't mean that a January move isn't going to be entertained, but the news around him tells us that Liverpool are still considering how he fits into the long-term defensive puzzle. Big up, David. Nice to see you in the chat. A new name for us, and I hope that you subscribe and like and subscribe. Good to see you. What would you have done, JK? Would you have sold Joe Gomez today if the Guehi deal had gone through, or is it all dependent upon our depth? And because our depth's so important that you know, you would say, yeah, we want Guehi, but we also want it to be done the right way, or our way, I should say, not the right way, but our way.
Well, for me, the defense centre back sort of situation is like our front three situation. Like we need six really up top. You know what I mean? To fill them positions, two on each position and whatever. So for me, defensive, you can't have enough defensive cover because at the end of the day, you don't want Endo or Gravenberch to be playing there. You know what I mean? You prefer a Joe Gomez, the Italian lad who's come in, Guehi. So for me, I would have kept Gomez as well, bro, because like Gomez came on yesterday. He's the only centre back on the bench. But actually, the Italian lad was as well, yeah. But hey, it's just for
Leone
me,
was
Gomez.
Yeah,
It's all about keeping fit and being sort of locked in. He seems to be fit now, Gomez. So he's got a few weeks off now. Rest up, and maybe he's playing in the Burnley match. Depends on Kanate. What's his injury sort of diagnosis? Him and Wirtz. You said that they both had cramp, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's hopefully that's cool. Leone, bro, he's gonna play Carabao Cup, maybe the odd 5 minutes here and there in the Premier League, maybe. But I would love to see him, see what we've got there. You know what I mean? Gomez is a reliable guy in that way of you know what you're gonna get with him. We're not relying on his injury. That's the thing. Why for me, you can't really put him in a centre back pairing because you don't know if he's going to be bloody fit. You know, so
yeah.
I would have kept him just the versatility of the guy as well, bro. He's the oldest head in the club. He's the longest. He's been there longer than anyone, and I think he's very important part of the squad. You know what I mean? He's one of them guys. So, and he gets on with everyone. He's just a top lad.
Yeah, he definitely gets along. I mean, he's our longest serving player, actually.
Yeah.
Put it this way, people. He was here before even Klopp was here.
Yeah, man.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And he's been and gone now.
And
you know what I mean?
and Klopp's not even here anymore. How about that too?
Yeah.
Living legend.
I just wish Gomez and Sturridge, two guys who stayed fit their whole careers. They would have been like for me. Gomez was at a time best centre back for England. His injury didn't help him. Sturridge best striker for England. Injuries didn't help him. So yeah. True, Makoma. Gomez is the longest serving player, but that's because of his injury. Yeah, because no one wants to buy an injured player. He ended up staying at Liverpool.
Oh wow, I see
I
that.
I think it.
Yeah, David's saying, here we bring up these. I'll bring up Brian's little remark in a second. Gomez is the longest serving player, but that's because of his injuries. David saying Brendan Rodgers signed Joe. That's how long? Yeah, absolutely. I think Brian is talking about what we're just talking about right now, which is everyone knows that surely. Not everyone knows that. Some of us, some people don't know. We have new fans always joining us, so it's always good to talk history and speak on our heritage with our with our young and old alike. What else is being said? I think this too point that think back to the season when VVD was banned for red at Newcastle, who got us clean sheets and led the back line. It was Gomez when VVD was absent. Spot on, Zia. I think this might be controversial, and Lee, JK, I'm sure you'll have your own opinions. I'm sure out in the chat you will have your own opinions. That's why we're here to talk about them. Okay? No judgments on this one. All right? No judgments. But I would be willing to say that I believe, and there's a close second, but I believe that Virgil van Dijk's best partner, best center half partner has or was Joe Gomez. I think Joe Gomez was his best partner. And he's had some partners, people. He's had certainly some partners. I mean, Matip is a very close second, I would say. I know there are those that might put Ibu into that ranking. That'd be an interesting little tier show, maybe, or not all dedicated to just that one point, but maybe who is the best deputy to Virgil's captaincy in the center half role. But he was referring to JK's response. Okay, no worries. My fault, Brian. But I would you disagree? And I'm talking about when he's fit. When he was fit. I don't know. I think I know Brian is totally kidding if that's Brian's suggestion. I don't think Sepp Vandenberg has ever played in a back line with Virgil, to be honest with you. Because when Sepp Vandenberg played in the preseason, but the preseason Virgil wasn't with the team, so. But I know. Brian's just totally.
No, they were both Dutch, but that was about the only thing they had in common as players. Yeah. Like both Dutch. One's Virgil, one's Sepp Vandenberg. Who we got a good price for. We got a good price for him.
Well, I mean, the Red Armchair supporter is saying he's definitely kidding. It's got to be Endo. It's got to be Endo. Yeah, maybe so, Brian. BBD was afraid Sepp would show him up. You never know. I mean, they're both talking. They're in the corner, both talking Dutch. Who knows what they're saying? Unless you can speak the language yourself. Who knows?
We got good money from Fulham for him and Carvalho, didn't we? I was pleased with that from, the behind-the-scenes people, whoever was chiefly responsible. We got good prices for both of them. And Elliott's on loan, eh? What do you reckon of Elliott's on loan to Villa then? All joking aside about him hopefully scoring against Man U. Think it'll be good for him. It seems like he's needed because Emery's been frustrated a couple of times, I think, in the transfer market. Before getting Elliott.
You can, JK. Who's your answer? Who would be yours? By the way, just wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering. Eventually, who knows? Maybe people will replace that statement with the best pairing has been BBD and Marc Guéhi. Who knows? But right now, I personally think the best partner that he had was Joe Gomez at center half.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you give me the Kanate that turned up yesterday, I would say Kanate.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. The one that came yesterday to the table was the Kanate that all I want to see in him every game. You know what I mean? Concentration. We got a clean sheet against Arsenal. Mm-hmm. But Gomez, I don't know what it is with Gomez. He's a very chilled sort of centre back. He isn't very he knows what he's doing. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Gomez. I like his sort of pace, his stature, the way he plays. But I also like the way Kanate played yesterday. So you know what it was? If them two could swap their qualities, if Gomez could give Kanate his sort of steadiness, and Kanate could give Gomez his feistiness, he would have the perfect centre back there.
Okay. We already had that was a fun episode actually.
The Ibu against
I don't know
Arsenal.
if you did that episode with us, Lee, but we did a Frankenstein or a Dr. Frankenstein episode where we could put together like our best, like our ideal player. That was a fun. And we took like
No, I missed that.
Like,
oh yeah. I remember
that. It was really fun. That was fun. But he's saying, so basically you're saying a fully fit Ibu, and Ibu is your choice as BVD's best partner. I got you.
Yes, definitely. Like, well, that Ibu, yesterday's Ibu against Arsenal, it was a lot of them as it worked out properly. Better yesterday, and in a more proper manner.
I think
our defending was a bit better, wasn't it, than what we'd seen previously? And if it's that Ibu week in, week out, then that's good enough for me. But he's got to maintain that form, hasn't he?
Yeah, after the first two games, Slot worked out that we've let in 4 goals, 2 in each game, and he's thinking we've got Arsenal, dangerous team, at the weekend. So he spent a whole week drilling into them forced defenders, Szoboszlai included. This is the job on Sunday. You got to keep a clean sheet, blah blah blah. And you've seen the way we were defending yesterday, a bit more organised. Yeah, the guy on the right sometimes had a bit of more space. They're going to attack Arsenal, you know what I mean? They're a good team. But I think the way Kirk sort of defended him, right? So he sat down and sort of played probably with Slot together, trained better this week, where he timed his tackles, got it spot on, and he brought it in, and he delivered yesterday. So I think it was a week of just drilling the players of keeping a clean sheet against Arsenal, and it worked.
Okay. Wow. I wanted to keep these stats for tomorrow, but let me see if I can find this one graphic that really, really highlights what it is. Joey Gomez put in a real shift yesterday, and despite only being in for limited minutes, he put in a decent shift. If you look at the numbers, it's pretty wild. All right. So you overgrown Ibu. I didn't see any answers in the chat, so maybe that doesn't motivate, and no one's really motivated to give me an answer for their choice. But yeah, I honestly did think that it was Matip could be a shout too. I thought. I think Matip is one of the most underrated halves that we've had. Again, you're talking about form, or you're talking about fitness and injuries and the likes with Ibu. You got to say the same for Matip. If Matip's not injured or doesn't have the injury, consistency or that he's had, I don't even know if Ibu was on the team and he wasn't playing in front of him, and Matip was still playing in front of him. You know what I mean? Hyler says Matip and Gomez in their prime, both better than Konate. But Konate has the beast abilities. He's not. I guess he means football smart. But he was nearly beating Gyökeres as a prime bodyguard. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Zia says
him up a little bit.
Yeah. I like you a lot more now. He's back in my Joey claim as being the best, but Red Armchair supporter, like you too, brother, saying Matip. I said no judgments, but I know that's a little judgy. But I'll say it's all good.
Nalante would say Gomez. Yeah.
Nalante would say Gomez without a hesitation.
I wonder who Brian would say.
Respect. I wonder who Brian would say. I do. I wonder who Brian would actually give as his best pair, or his best pairing for our center half. It's a real good question. Well, I guess this is where we can basically deal with it. We did speak with the fact that Marc Guéhi, Liverpool, and Crystal Palace originally agreed on a deal for the center half. He had gone to get his medical as well. The medical was done in London. This was a done deal, I guess, until it wasn't. Palace were stalling. I don't really know what is going on. Crystal Palace isn't, obviously a big six club. I'm not going to give the illusion that they are. They just won their first their first real trophy or major trophy in the history of their club, right? With the FA Cup win they had. But at the same time, Crystal Palace does have a history. Crystal Palace does have competent, or at least owners that do have money, and they are in London. So it's not like they're not in a big city. But they hadn't secured a replacement. The manager, Oliver Glasner, doesn't want to lose his captain, obviously, without coverage. And Brighton's Igor Julio was heading to West Ham last I saw, right? So that's thrown a wrench into everything because he was supposed to be the replacement for Guehi. Now that he's going to West Ham, which is a very interesting decision. I don't know if he's going there because preference or if he's going there because West Ham just offered more money. But that is unfortunate for Crystal Palace. So here we are, we were hours before the deadline, looking at it, and all of a sudden we've got this question mark hanging over Guehi's head. Palace dragging their feet is not only unfortunate, it is, let's be honest, bad business. It's bad business. This is deadline day theater at its peak. Do you think,
me, bro?
Well, let me ask you the question, and then you can also elaborate to the point you want to make as well. JK, do you think Liverpool should revisit this in January, or should we just wait until the summer window and get him on a free?
Well, look, if Konate is going to go, he will replace him, and that 30 we're going to spend on him, 35, we can use it to get another one in, and we'll still have that Italian lad. So that can work out in that way. Like Konate goes on a free, and he comes in on a free. So that's cool. But in January, if it's like we sort of lacking back at the back because of this, that, and the other, I'd visit him then, But for me, I think Guehi, no matter who offers him anything, he just wants to go into Liverpool. It feels like that. So no PSG or Real Madrid or whatever can say to him in January, because no British teams can talk to him or something like that, or sign a pre-contract in January. They can't do that if you're from England, but you could do it if you're a foreign club. Weird, but yeah. So I don't think anyone would sort of get him before us. And if we win the league again and whatever, he definitely wants to come to us. But I would have preferred to get him in now. It's better to be stacked with players than looking at youth players to come in and trying to do a job. You know what I mean, bro? We've got 4 competitions, so the more the merrier for me.
Okay. You guys saying that Guehi is better than Konate. I am not saying that. They're pretty equal.
I'm not saying that.
They're pretty equal.
Look,
it depends on what quality you rate more heavily, I think. Because they have unique qualities of their own, I think, that they exhibit.
Yeah, they play their own way. But Guehi, bro, every time I watched him, he always ends up falling on the floor. I don't know, is it a tactic? I don't know why he really does it, but he kept on falling down all the time, moaning and that. Yeah, at Liverpool, we don't do that, man. We stay on our feet.
I'm gonna bring up Brian's question, and then Get ready, Lee. I know it's been a while since I've gone back to you, but I'm going to ask you the same question. I'll repeat it, though, for you. But Brian is saying he doesn't think Gomez has the fitness level of Dom at this point in 2025. Joe can play center half, but as a fullback, he thinks you would just end up causing him more issues.
Yeah, bang on.
It is a train of thought that putting him at right back exposes him more to, having to, jockey wingers, at centre back he can take it a bit easier, can't he, with his experience, at least that if he's fit with the experience he's got in years playing at centre back. But even then at centre back, I mean, that could still happen. It's just cross your fingers time with Joe in it this season.
That's it, bro. You know what I mean?
Which puts more pressure on Leone, but let's hope he's up to it. I didn't want to put this much pressure on him so early, Leone, but it's looking like it's going to have to be that way.
Yeah, but for me, bro, I think when you're at that age, you want that. You want
he'll want it. The player will want it himself.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I have no worries. I don't think we would spend 30-odd million on a guy who ain't great. So for me, there you go. Carabao Cup, Champions League,
I'd be
last
interested
5-10 minutes.
to see Leone and Gomez.
Carabao Cup game.
VVT could be rested. Say against first draw in the FA Cups, like I don't know, fucking
Southampton,
Colchester or some shit. Chester, I don't know, one of them clubs he could play.
Southampton.
But I didn't really want to do it until the FA Cup early rounds. But he could do it at Southampton, couldn't he? If Gomez and Leone is fit and he wants to rest them when the Carabao Cup starts in a few weeks, he could do that, couldn't he?
Perfect game to play the Italian lad. Chiesa could start all these guys, you know what I mean? Chiesa's getting more game time this season than he did last season, man.
I know. Chiesa
to be honest,
from the forgotten man on the bench to now
number one guy.
One of the first names to be picked.
Did you see how eager he was to get on the pitch yesterday? He was telling the guy.
I love it. I think that he's I guess the conversation that he had with the coach, and not only that, but obviously the actual selections that he's getting in these games by the coach are now saying, you've got your opportunity in front of you. You go out there and make the most of it. And he looks excited. He looks invigorated. He looks, engaged. I love the fact that we've kept Chiesa. I'm a big Chiesa fan. And
that run he did, remember his run when he went off with his left foot at the end of it? He was going to the right-hand side of the box and then just changed his mind when he seen how many fucking players was there and went on to his left foot. And it come close, didn't it? It was a nice run.
Got a corner. Yeah, got a corner. You know what happened when Chiesa came on? He sort of shifted the direction the game was sort of going. He gets about him and Curtis Jones, for me, were the sort of difference makers when they came on. They just
this question, know what Armchair's put in the chat. I hope he still gets minutes now. Isak's here because he's sort of been coming on in place of Hugo. But that will be Isak very soon that's doing that. And it's whether he gets on the pitch as a sub for Mo or for Gakpo, innit? And whether he outranks Rio as a choice on the left, or whether it strictly be on the right where Slot sees him. This is a question still to be answered.
Very interesting. I'm not going to get into it too much because I do have an episode coming up about that. But because I did a couple of other episodes I wanted to do, but it was kind of it would have been kind of silly to make an episode about how do we use Isak when he wasn't a part of our team. Now that he is a part of our team, now that we have over the line, different story. We can now actively get into the conversation of how do we incorporate Isak into the club. But that is for an upcoming episode. Maybe not even tomorrow. We've got so much going on. But fortunately, it is an international break that we're heading into. So fortunately for us, all this content you'll see over the break. Hopefully, it'll keep you entertained until we get back to playing with the club. But Well, let's talk about the man himself then. You guys were just talking about him. This guy right here.
That's an official picture as well, bro, because every other Isaac picture I've seen is made by that thing, AI and stuff. Like they just put it together on that. That's a proper picture now. You know what I mean, bro?
This is done in-house by Liverpool right here.
That's the real deal.
That's the real deal. The headline, the moment, the statement signing. Alexander Isak is a red, people. He is a Liverpool player. These are some of the comments from the interview that you guys are commenting on. I'm going to find out if I can play the actual interview tomorrow. But what he had to say is a mixture of, he says, a mixture of what the club is building, but what they're building on top of what the club already is. The history of the club, Isak told, this is him speaking to Liverpool FC. .com when asked why Anfield is the place for him to join. He said, me getting the chance to be a part of this, I want to create history. I want to win trophies. That's ultimately the biggest motivation for me. I feel like this is the perfect place, for me to grow even further and to take my game to the next level and help the team as well. I feel like this is the next step for me in my career. I'm super happy that I've been given this chance, and I'm very motivated to do something well with it. Isak played at Anfield as an opponent on 2 occasions during his spell with the Magpies, found the net on both occasions. Now he cannot wait for the opportunity to add to that tally for the Reds' benefit. He went on to say, it's so exciting. I think it's something difficult to put into words. I think you have to experience it and then explain. He also finished up, and you can read this article on liverpoolfc.com. I think we all know what Liverpool is all about, or the fans and what they're about as well. So yeah, looking forward to getting to experience that. Shout out to our newest Red. Shout out to Nalante, by the way, joining us as well. Big up to my brethren.
Bless Nalante, bro.
Big up. He might be
He's not talking to us. We didn't get Guehi in, bro.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All good?
We can hear you. Yeah, all good, bro.
All good?
Yep,
all good. Isaac's in the house.
Isaac's in the house. We got Delante in the house. We got Scouts.
Okay.
We got the Scouts in the house. Big up,
Cool.
Lee in the house.
Cool.
We got also JK in the house.
Striker.
Yes. Alexander the Great is now a Red. 125. It's
We got
been
red on chair. Hey, I told you.
There you go. Yeah, anywhere from 125 to 130 million. Oh, by the way, big up Marc Guéhi. Marc Guéhi just gave what I was asking for, which is a buyback and clauses on the Elliott deal have been confirmed. Shout out to you for that bit of clarification, definitely, because that was a big part of it. I know that we wanted to put buyback clause in there. I think that's fantastic that we do have that involved. But 125 to 130 million was, depending on whose sources you trust, is the number that we're looking at for the deal. A British record. The third most expensive player in football history. Third biggest deal ever. Let me see. I do have
That's
big. It's a big deal.
Big fee, bro. Big fee.
Big deal.
Fair play.
Pretty, as Larry David likes to say, pretty much.
Big deal. They did. Yes. Our striker.
Yeah.
Look at that kind of stuff. Our striker.
I would have
Headshot. Killing.
preferred.
My
I would have.
Alexander the Great. Our striker.
Yeah.
I would have
That
preferred it was
headline's
the
going to appear, isn't
last
it,
day of
at
the
some
window.
point?
Yeah, if it was the last day of the window and we ended up buying him instead of the drama we've had the last 3 months. Oh, he's not going training, he ain't doing this and all that shenanigans, you know. It must have brought his energy down, bro. You know what I mean? He was our player then. As soon as he knew who's coming to us, all the fans calling him a rat. Like, I seen a video today, Sky Sports, like, this was on about the news guys showing pictures of people putting a post up, Isaac is a rat. We have a true Geordie now in Wissa. Someone wrote that on a
Yeah,
big
man.
post. I'm like, yeah, how are they
Yeah,
showing
man.
that? They shouldn't show that.
The guy
Come
did
on, man.
nothing wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong, bro,
He
because
waited, he
Guehi,
was patient, he waited, and now his mind's at peace over it, and so is
yeah,
ours.
he wants to
They've
win the
got what
league.
they wanted in
Yeah.
the fee, and
You
they've
got
got two
Wissa. Good signing.
replacements,
I
haven't
think
they? They've got
I
Wizard as well as Walter, I believe, so
yeah.
they can
I mean,
focus
Yeah,
on
Wissa
their
is expensive.
performances now, can't they?
Wissa is
everyone can say
expensive,
he
though.
did it right or he did it wrong. I mean, the fact is, like, he did what he had to do to get the deal done, and
Yeah,
we're the
Guehi
beneficiaries
didn't.
of it. So at this moment, I kind of care less if it was right or wrong, you know, because I'm looking forward with what the player is going to bring to our club, you know.
Bro, I could you
He
say
brought,
something?
he
Yeah.
brought tons of memories for Newcastle, a team that had fallen well short of seeing memories or being able to experience any types of joys.
Mhm.
He chose the team coming out of Spain, obviously, to basically revive Newcastle somewhat and give them direction with their um, offensive direction. Got them a trophy, one of the first
Yep.
trophies in decades. Yet here you are, you know, going from Alexander the Great to Alexander the Rat. That's how you think of it? Hey.
Yeah. Mad. You know, bro, the one thing about the gay deal that it fell through is it will take the heat off Isaac now because Liverpool fans can say, hey, if Isaac didn't act the way he did, he wouldn't have got that move for his career. Gay, he was playing football for Bloody Palace yesterday and scored a beauty.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He's the captain, so he behaved in the right manner. Don't get me wrong, but he's still playing for Palace now.
Mm.
So he sort of took the heat off Isaac by doing what he did, supposedly. It was like all the media were against him. I'm like, bro, he's going to come to another English team, Liverpool. Why is everyone hating on him? You know, so he's going to take the heat off him. He didn't act like Isaac, so he still plays for Palace now. So, yeah.
The Isak thing like stung a lot of Newcastle fans, but it's over now. Like the deal's done. I think. Like, am I right in saying that they got Vissa? They did get that one over the line.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
went to Newcastle.
We're Sarah on that other lad from Stuttgart, yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Walter Martin was there. Oh, two W's. Yeah. Well, that's good enough for them. That's something for them to be going on with. They can't say they didn't get anyone.
Yeah, but why didn't they do this 2 months ago, bro? As soon as the window opened, let's sort this out, Joe. It would have saved us a lot of headache, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Saved us a lot of hand
Technically,
wringing and gnashing of teeth.
we could
There's
sign
always
players. We could sign. You're asking, can we sign any free transfers outside of the transfer
Yep.
deal? We
Mhm.
can sign free agents and bring them in. We could make a deal outside of the transfer window. It just doesn't take effect until the transfer window opens. So we can make a deal, let's say next month with Crystal Palace, technically. And then when the actual window opens in January 1st, that player would be with our club. That's just how it would end up working. But yes, there isn't. It doesn't happen too often, but I mean, it does happen. So I did say 125 million, 130 million. Can you guys name in order? Can you guys name the top 5 most expensive signings of all time? Work together on this one. Nolante's back, so you have a third to your 3 amigos.
Well, I will name 4 of them, I reckon. Order-wise. Is it Mbappe, Neymar?
You got to get them in order. You got to get them in order. I'm not asking for the price. You don't have to tell me the price of what it was. If you can tell me the price, I'll give you extra. And put it in euros. Don't put it in pounds, because majority of them are going outside of England. There's only been one in
Neymar, Mbappe, Coutinho, Isak. It's the next one. I don't know.
So you're going Neymar, Mbappe, Coutinho.
No, it's not Dembele. Or is it Dembele or Casido? One of the two. Because Dembele was
one of the two. Yeah, I think it was Dembele, bro.
Yeah, I think the Euros and pounds are different.
Give you this too, by the way. The number 4 and number 5 are the same price. So if you say them in vice versa order, I'll give you both. I'll still give you credit.
So Dembele, Casido.
Number 1, just do them in order. 1, 2, from top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Realism Jared saying Isak, Wirtz, Caicedo, Enzo, and Grealish. This is most expensive transfers of all time in Europe, by the way, not just Premier League. That might be the Premier League.
Yeah, that's Premier League. I was saying Neymar. It was 200, wasn't it?
Neymar,
Neymar's the top. He's the top.
Yeah,
Neymar's ridiculous.
100%.
Yeah, so him,
Coutinho, those 3. Looked in.
You guys, so you got a consensus? You guys got a consensus?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Neymar, Mbappe.
Neymar number 1, number 2.
Mbappe
is, survey says correct. Wait, hold on. I can maybe even do something for you. Let me see. Okay. Neymar is correct. And you said Mbappe at number 2, right?
I'm sure he's free, wasn't he?
Okay. All right. Well, if you said Neymar's right. Neymar won 222 million euros, by the way, for Neymar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
180 million euros for Mbappe. So
okay. So Coutinho is next.
Well done.
Number
3. Number 3.
Coutinho?
No. I'm sorry.
You gotta take over, bro.
That'd be correct.
Okay, bring Coutinho then.
Number 3 would be
Griezmann.
If it's not Coutinho, who do you think number 3 would be? Marc A is saying, Marc A agreed with you too. Marc A agreed at Coutinho. Realism Jared had Coutinho.
Dembele?
CJ, Mbappe was a free transfer to Real Madrid, but Mbappe, Monaco to PSG was not a free transfer. So that's what we're saying. If you want to be who do you think's number 3?
You go Dembele then, isn't it?
Dembele would be incorrect. This isn't that hard. It's the guy sitting there looking at you from the in the seats. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't. He's more than Coutinho.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't be right.
I thought Coutinho was
can't be right. Coutinho's ball. I saw we paid. No, he Barcelona. I need to check that because I'm sure Coutinho was more than
that, bro. Coutinho is 140.
I'll show you.
Yeah, 130. Yeah.
Someone's fiddling the money, bro.
This is according to Score 90. Isak is third with 150 million euros. Dembele and Coutinho are 135 million euros. That's why I said.
But the euros and pounds is different. That's the problem because euros and pounds are different. That's the thing. So I'm thinking pounds more than euros.
Yeah, I did say give it in euros because the
Need to see
majority of
euros.
these
Yeah.
deals going to European teams as opposed to the one deal that was obviously Isak. But
A bit surprised about that, but again, that's the thing. It's the euros deals is a different English pounds. So, but yeah, I mean that I would in the top five. Yeah, that's what you'd be thinking.
okay, all right. I don't know. Big up, Alan. I don't know if you're being sincere or if you're being a little cheeky, but welcome to the show, Alan. I see
It's a thought that counts.
the stripes, the black and white stripes. So I know that you're a Newcastle fan. He says, "Hope Isak is all you hope for and stays injury free." Kind of a little bit of a. Okay.
It's the only Newcastle fan who wishes that. But fair play.
Yeah. But it's all good. I trust that Alan is being sincere with his sentiments. I do. Zia saying, no, that's wrong. Hey, take up score 90, Zia. Not with me. How about that? Okay. Graphic, all right?
Send him a message. Even Auntie was saying it's not right. Even I say, yeah, get in contact with him.
Well, you know what, too, as well. As much as you're thinking about the 100, I don't think it was even 147 million. I think it was 142 million, technically. But I think that the reason why is because that's with add-ons, and also we didn't get 142 million from Barcelona. We ended up getting like a little short of what they owed us. We had to take them to court to get like the money. Barcelona was like we end up like being like, yo, you're a little behind on these checks you're supposed to be sending us. And Barcelona's like checking all the pockets, like, you know, like Wimpy from Popeyes. Like, I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger or whatever he says, something like that. Like, oh man, it was pretty ugly. All right. But all right, let's get into the rest of this show before we get too far into the weeds here. Let's go across the league real quick. Liverpool were obviously breaking records. The rest of the league were scrambling as well. Newcastle reinvested fast. I thought it was very, very important to note that Visa from Brentford was for £55 million. Walter May, already through the door. Spurs picked up Kolo Muani, Randall Kolo Muani on loan. Villa also, on top of getting Elliott, added Victor Lindelof. And City are moving for Donnarumma with Ederson off the Turkey. I didn't have a definitive answer as to whether that deal had been completed or not. Do any of you guys know if that deal is official? Anybody know?
The Donnarumma one, I'm not sure.
I'll check.
Because and I think Edison, the Turkish window closes in 2 weeks or something, so Edison probably end up there. Fenerbahce, I think, or Galatasaray, was it? Galatasaray.
Exactly.
Is that what's meant to be happening? That City are going to go for Donnarumma?
Yeah. Edison.
Interesting. I thought they'd just go on Trafford. Like, I thought they'd just have Trafford, but maybe he doesn't want that.
No, I think they even when they got him back from Burnley, I think that they never saw it as he would be their sole decision on goalkeeping for them. They had to either
goalkeeper
or get some bring.
Ederson looked all at sea last season, but the entire team was crap last season, and Ederson suffered, didn't he? He looked woeful at times, like uncertain, and not the Ederson that we got used to as being a dependable player. But if he replaces him, I wouldn't be massively surprised.
It's been completed, by the way.
It's something he can do, isn't it? So,
that's a good one. Thank you, thank you for reminding me, because I don't know if I put that one in my notes or not. The other big deal that was right at the end of the broadcast that I saw that was going to, it was at first it was possibly not going to go through, and then it didn't really make that much sense to me personally, seeing Nicholas Jackson go to Bayern Munich. If the player is looking to be a outright everyday striker, to go to Bayern Munich isn't necessarily going to improve those odds of you being the number one striker, especially ahead of it. So Bayern Munich have completed a deal to bring in Nicholas Jackson. And it is a deal that you're going to see. Apparently, it's a loan deal with an option to buy. Should be interesting. Let me see if who else put that in there. Where was it? Hold on, I'm looking to see. I mean, right here. Jackson is going for 81 million, basically. They're going to make about, like, it says 16 in loan fees, 65 million obligation to buy. I don't know how they do it either, It's a weird set of circumstances that Chelsea used to get a lot of these deals over the line. I think it was like something that the BBC reporter was saying that they'll look to basically net 70 million from the deal all in all. That's a good chunk of change for a player that they had obviously chosen to go a different direction from. It's very, very interesting to see what we do or what they do next. And possibly utilize some of that money. I know that they just moved Colwell on as well, apparently, too, because he's gotten his deal to be moved on. I did say Ederson. It was chaos, definitely. So, any big names that you saw in the last day that you were like, that's a huge deal or that's major news, Nolante? Are any names out there that made you say, oh, wow, that's a really big deal?
Kolo Muani going to Spurs is a good deal for them. He was killing it at Juventus. He was getting his form back, so I think that's a very good loan option. I think that's a good deal for them. The others, Harvey, that's fine. Kevin, the Fulham, the Brazilian winger that Fulham are getting, it's an interesting one. We're seeing bits and pieces of him. Very good.
Which player? Yeah, I didn't hear. It's a little bit. Your mic's a little bit muffled a little bit, but
Kevin.
Kevin.
Got you.
Shakhtar Donetsk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a well-travelled route for Brazilians, isn't it? Shakhtar, loads have been there, like forwards and midfielders.
Anyone else?
By the way, the Donnarumma deal, it went through.
It did go through. Okay.
Yeah. 5-year contract.
I think that's a big. I think if anything, that's a big deal.
Which one was that you said that went through? I missed that. Sorry.
The fact that Donnarumma didn't go to Manchester United, and the fact that Donnarumma B went to City is a big deal. I think that is a very big deal.
Yeah. Pep's last stand in the transfer window. I wondered if he will walk in the summer, or do you reckon he'll stay the 2 years? Because he signed an extra 2. I think he might walk in the summer. He'll stay this season, won't he? But, got his goalie anyway.
Are you talking about Ederson?
No, Donnarumma. I'm talking about Guardiola getting Donnarumma. It's something he could do, and he's done it. He hasn't got the right back, though, has he?
Whether Pep is going to stay. I understand. whether Pep will stay because now that he just signed a keeper.
Yeah. I was saying he might walk next summer potentially. Who knows? He might stay the 2 years. I'm not sure. I hope he does walk. I hope it is his last season.
I think the only way he'll, I don't. That's a good question. I don't even want to venture a guess because who
Klopp
knows?
still has years to go on his contract, didn't he?
Himself. Pep is a very unique entity in himself. You can never really call it when it comes to Pep.
Yeah, well, he's meant to go last season. Everyone said he'll go last summer, but he stayed.
Yeah.
I always said he won't. Yeah, I think he'll stay the 2. I think he'll do his last year. Yeah.
Who do you reckon plays right back more often? Lewis or Nunes? Matheus Nunes or bloody Rico Lewis? Who do you reckon plays right back more often? Who would you prefer? I suppose is the question. The rest of you at right back for City.
Say that question again. So I was about to comment on something.
I'm saying they bought a goalie, they bought Donnarumma, yeah, but they haven't bought a right back. They've been using Nunes, the midfielder, and the young lad Rico Lewis, haven't they, between them?
Who knows,
I'm
man?
saying, which one would you prefer if it was you, if it was your club, like in that spot? Given what Nunes did against Tottenham.
First off, it was Manchester City.
Yeah. Well, they've got their wish with Donnarumma, so that gives them something else. You can't totally forget them and count them out because of what they've done in the relatively recent past. But I don't know if a new goalie is going to cut it. Is going to propel them back to the top or anything. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It'd have to be bloody good if it is enough to put them in contention.
Biggest thing that you'd see if they were my team, then the biggest thing I'd have to do is one, change up a good majority of my wardrobe because red is the majority of the colors that I utilize. I don't have much powder blue, but if Manchester City was my club, I would go and approach Real Madrid and ask if I can get a loan deal for Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's not likely to play for Real Madrid. How about that?
I would buy another keeper and put them both in goal. Just have 2 goalies because like Ait Nouri and Matheus Nunes as fullbacks with an aging Stones and Diaz. Right, that's like you're gonna have to be a good bloody goalie if you're just one man to keep clean sheets in that team. Donnarumma, that's all on his shoulders, isn't it? Can he do it on his own, or does he need another goalie with him?
Good question. I see the Kevin that you're speaking on. That was big for Fulham in that obviously the player is 22 years old. He's very young. I know that he's a promising player. That's obvious. Brazilian player. 5'8", 5'9", something like that. Right foot. But what's uniquely interesting about this deal, which was a $34.8 million, going into transfer deadline, do you realize Fulham had only spent $400,000 in the transfer market? Going into, I know they got this deal done today. Going into, because I did do some research on every transfer out, every transfer in for each club, what the quote unquote net spends were for the clubs that were involved. And when I was looking at the numbers, Fulham at that time, I don't know if this deal moves them up or down significantly or not, but they were the lowest spending club in the transfer window. They had spent all of £400,000, something around there. We're talking about possibly spending over £400 million. Fulham had spent £400,000. That's telling. That's very telling. Not only what else is telling is I do have some parting shots. We can do a quick recap. We beat Arsenal thanks to Dom's absolute pinpoint rocket missile guided, a laser guided missile. We're now top of the league. We say goodbye to ringlets. We say goodbye to Harvey Elliott. For now, at least, maybe. We almost said goodbye to Joe Gomez, but fortunately, we're going to continue that relationship. We wrestled with Palace over Guehi. And, oh, yes, there was a player that got signed the day before today. Oh, yeah, that's right. Alexander the Great for a British transfer record. So this is one of those nights where you can feel the club moving into a new chapter, I think. I wanted to do a couple of shouts because what was very interesting is we're giving, depending on which publication you believe, we're giving anywhere from 125 to 130 million to Newcastle for their player, Alexander Isak. But what's pretty wild about it, and this is the reason why I said you can, there's people that win the lottery, but doesn't mean that they're going to be, doesn't mean that they're going to be successful and be able to continue to build on that success or that blessing necessarily. We shall see if Newcastle can do so, because getting 125 million or 130 million is like hitting the lottery when it comes to transfers. They've already spent, if it's 125 or if it's 130, so they've spent anywhere from 5 to, they've spent anywhere or spent so much of that already on Visa and Waltamati, or Waltamade, however you pronounce it, that they're now left with about 5 to 10 million. You think about it. They spent on Visa, they spent 55 million for a 29-year-old. And with Waltamade, I think is he 23? Is he 23? Does anyone know? No,
yeah, he's 23.
23.
Yeah.
Promising young talent out of Germany. He's supposed to be possibly the next generation of the German attack. But they spent 65 million on him. So you're looking at 120 million spent, and who they have in return is Visa and Waltamade. So I guess you could say good luck to Newcastle, because it's going to be very interesting where their future is headed with the way that they've obviously they needed to get some reinforcements at forward, but is history going to prove that they made the right decision in the two strikers that they picked? We'll see. I rate Waltamade, so I think he's a good player. For what I've seen and what I've read on him, he's certainly a good player.
Thing is as well, bro. Oh, well.
So JK, tell me what you want to say.
Like the way Wissa was sort of behaving, similar to Isaac now. But no one, Newcastle fans ain't saying nothing about that, you know.
Yeah, their banner should say a rat for a rat, if that's how they look at these players. Because Visa did the exact same thing, or did very similar settings as Isak did. It's just that Isak's story was a bigger story.
Yeah, because of the fee.
Because of the fee and because of the club he was connected to.
Simple.
Yeah. Yep. Lee, how do you feel about it? Coming up on the 2-hour mark.
Sorry, I was just quickly looking at something. It was a picture of me nephew, like he's only a little kid. It's a funny picture of him. What did you ask us then? Sorry. I got one of them bastard reminder things, you know what I mean, and I couldn't ignore it. Like, so
the sheer fact that, you know, I made this connection before, and why I made the connection is because we were just saying, Hylor did look it up. He apparently looked up and saw that Coutinho was only registered with 116 million, let's call it 117 million pounds. And even if that total reached way over 130 million possibly, but at least that's what he's saying. But then again, like, I don't think a lot of that money was claimed. But 116 million was what was registered. So with that 116 million, or 100 and what did I say? 135 million pounds, 135 million euros. What we did with that money was get two essential players to the spine of our team. We ended up being able to balance the books by saying our acquisition of, I think, at the time I think it's the largest price we've ever spent on a goalkeeper in Allison. We brought in at that time, the largest amount we spent on a center half. I know there's some people that will probably go, oh, well, you know, like $1 million in 1980 is different than $1 million in 2025. I get that. But we spent the most money we've ever spent on a center half in Virgil van Dijk, and was all somewhat tied to the money that we got for Coutinho. And with that, we've created a nucleus of a team that has gone on to win two Premier Leagues and a Champions League, and other trophies on top of that as well. Every trophy you can think of, actually, apart from the Europa. And it's one of those cases where if you're going to get a lottery check in 150 million euros for Isak, you've got to make those 2 or 3, whatever number of acquisitions you're going to make your team better. They have to be no-brainers. So I'm very intrigued. I think, unfortunately for Newcastle, I don't think that their acquisitions were like future building acquisitions. I think that they were a mixture of the future and a mixture of what you need now with Visa. Because Visa is not someone that you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to invest the next 5 years of my franchise with them, of my club with him. Tell me if you differ.
I'm just enjoying that stat that Hylo's put in the chat. Liverpool's net spend in the last 5 seasons, including this one, folks, is minus 493.53 million, which is 6th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Satisfying, that isn't satisfying that we're only 6th in the list after this summer's transfer splurge.
It's difficult to keep. I mean, let's be honest. It's difficult to keep in stride with clubs, and I'm not going to mention who, but some clubs that allegedly cook the books. With some clubs that
Chelsea, I'll say it. Say Chelsea. I'll say it.
You know, sell hotels as if they're part of football revenue. Clubs that have their emails hacked, but then go on to say that don't believe the hype. It's difficult. It's very difficult when you're dealing with those settings, because you look at it the team that was one of the best teams in the 2010s and 2010 to 2020 era was Chelsea. So was Manchester City. 2000 to 2010 especially was Chelsea too. But Chelsea's got you'll wonder why I said Chelsea for 2010 2020 because they've got some Champions Leagues in there too. Or they got a Champions League, I think, in there. And they got it before Manchester City did. So, but, oh, man, I don't know. I just thought that, like, I'm hoping that Newcastle, we had Alan say that he hopes that Isak turns out to be good for us and that he's injury free. I hope your players turn out to be good for you, because you're now taking your big windfall of cash and investing them in a potential German prodigy and a Premier League proven visa, but on the back end of his career for Premier League eliteness visa.
Yeah, but bro, 2 days ago, they were going to lose probably one of their best strikers they've ever had, and they had no one to replace him. And now they've got Wissa, and that's Stuttgart lad.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
They should be happy, bro.
No, I'm not saying they shouldn't be happy. They shouldn't. But I just don't.
But for me,
do you see what JK? Do you see now? Like the connection I'm making is that I would never say that Visa and Walter Maid are even remotely comparable to the acquisitions that we made in Ali and VVD.
Of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
We needed a goalkeeper at the time. We did need a goalkeeper. We've been in search of a center half, a talisman center half for a long time. Obviously, you're supposed to get VVD a year before we ended up getting VVD. But my reason of saying that is because, yeah, they've got all this money, fantastic. But now, what do they do with it? That's the biggest question, like, what do they do with it? You can say what you like about PSG got Neymar, right? One of the prime reasons why Barcelona could purchase Dembele from Dortmund or even Coutinho from us was because of that 222 million that they got from PSG. That's the connection I'm making. They should have Dembele, Coutinho could have been club changing forwards or club changing players for their team. They just didn't wait long enough for Dembele to let him go to PSG, and obviously Coutinho was hit or miss with Barcelona after a couple of injuries. But we'll see. I don't know. It's a parting shot. Just a parting shot.
Transfer saga showed the true colours of certain groups of fans. You know what I mean, bro? Newcastle fans couldn't believe it. The amount of bullshit I've seen with them lot. It's like, poor. See me, if a player wants to leave my club, I'm not going to do no singing and dancing about it and moaning and want the player to stay and all this. Like Coutinho, as soon as he said he wanted to go to Barcelona, none of us wanted him here. It's like, he wants to go, let him go.
What he did and what he was doing, I was like, Coutinho could kick rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, simple. Like, you don't want a player, he don't want to play for your club, at the club.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. See you later. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Simple things, isn't it? And sometimes as fans, even our own fan base, we're hypocrites because we moan about this player And then when the next player comes and does the same thing, we're like, oh yeah, they're both in, but that's it. That's hypocriticism. Sorry,
Yeah, big
from
time,
all
bro.
fans with this Trent and this Isak and then Isak to Isak. All fans, even our fan base, just hypocrites, man. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, I'd go as far as to say. I also a parting shot. Shame on Crystal Palace's board. The fact that your window was so poor after having possibly one of the best season-ending results to your history of your club. I mean, you just got to see one of your first European nights and got to see a goal, a win. And you have a coach out here saying how you are ill prepared or have been ill prepared for this window and going into it, having lost Elise in the year before that, then losing Eze this year, and on the verge or inches from losing Guehi in this window. And now it looks like if you don't get a move for him in January, you'll be losing him on a free. So it's very, very poor management, I think, by Crystal Palace.
Like today, Steve Parish, the ex Palace and Newcastle manager, was on the TV, and he was pure.
Oh, Pardew, you mean? JK.
Pardew.
Alan Pardew.
Yeah. Bro, he was like, no, you're not the manager of Newcastle or Palace now, bro.
Yeah.
These players want to move on. They want to improve their careers. They're not going to win the Champions League for Palace or for Newcastle. So, but they're acting like anti-Liverpool in their comments, and he was big time doing that. So I was like, no wonder they get on TV.
Oh, he was doing like anti-Liverpool stuff?
And like, not directly, indirectly. Like I was up
Is
to
it
the
because
state
he was
after
doing that
Newcastle.
whole like, oh, he needs to be loyal to Crystal Palace thing, despite the fact that
Newcastle.
I'm looking at it from a player perspective, as in you have a short window of time to be able to win as much as you can in your career and create your own legacy?
There you go. Because he was a player, bro, as well. You know what I mean? So you know what it's like to be a team capable of winning. You know, if you know with Newcastle you're not going to win no league title or Champions League, and you're 26, 27, you might have to move. As they did it. Why couldn't they? You know? So,
There was a stage in proceedings tonight where I naively thought the Guehi deal was signed and sealed pretty much, and that it was done. But it wasn't. Me hopes were misplaced all along on that. I don't think they tried that hard to find an alternative. They clearly didn't want to find an alternative and keep hold of him.
Simple.
Can you give me
an
an opinion on this one, Lee? And then in Lante and JK, you're more than welcome to do the same. I think something that was mentioned earlier in the show by the Streets, Rasta Crab, was something that I was saving for my parting shots. But I think there is a likelihood. I don't know what the odds are, but there's a likelihood that you could see Manchester United bring in Glasner as their next coach. And I say that because if Glasner starts to fall onto disappointment and the likes about a board that's not going to go out and get the players that he needs or even wants, eventually you're going to start saying, "Look, you want me to make wine out of water, basically," and that's just not happening. So I don't know about you guys, but I am a little concerned about that. I kind of have a feeling that he will eventually. Manchester United will fire Amram and they will go after a coach like Glasner, who is possibly one of the best coaches in the league, and certainly with a club that he is poachable from in the sense that he could decide to go a different direction and go to a team that you can say what you like about Manchester United, but I will give them some recognition. I'm not going to give them any credit, but recognition that they are a team that, whether it's Ali, whether it was, Hag, they'll go out and get the players that the coach wants and says are necessary for their team.
But none of them did it right, bro. Since Fergie left, none of them.
He didn't.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
They've had a few people in.
But that's the Frank Sinatra deal, though, man. That's the if it ends up going south, if it ends up going bad, at least you say you did it your way, you know?
Yep.
Well, shout out to all the Frankie Sinatra fans out there. That's not spending 1.3 billion is negative 1.3 billion, I guess, is the net spending of Manchester United over the last 10 seasons. That's pretty wild.
That's wild.
Pretty wild, but it's not surprising. I mean, you're bringing in high-profile players
with high wages. Jordan Sancho, 300 grand a week. Like Anthony, gone for 22 million today, euros.
Yeah.
So who are these people making these decisions at a big club like Man United? Idiots.
Yeah.
One Klopp. That's why I love Klopp. What people don't understand about Klopp is he could get players who were good players and keep them under manners, keep them respectful, getting them to do their job they're getting paid for. Man United managers can't do that, bro. They come there, the players are buying flashy cars, fucking around, getting paid big money for what? They don't win nothing. So that was why I got big respect for Klopp, the way he came in and did what he did, bro. Simple.
Yeah, I did have a graphic from the BBC transfer show, but let me see if I can I'll probably just read it out. Hold on, let me see if I can open it up rather than share.
Was it the guy Mark Chapman on there? Yeah, Joe Hart, Mark Chapman, I think.
Yeah. They were showing. They went into a piece about Manchester United. They went into a piece about Manchester United. You look at it. Sancho is now on loan with Villa, right?
Yeah. Him and Elliott.
21.7 million is what they ended up getting the deal on for 21.7 million pounds to I think it was Real Betis, right? For
Anthony.
For Anthony, yeah. I'm definitely they only showed a logo, so I'm definitely taking it from that way. Barcelona has a loan for Rashford. Obviously, it's 40 million that they ended up getting for Garnacho. Apparently, the Højlund deal has gone through, and it's a loan deal with option to buy, but still a loan deal for Napoli. I think he'll do decent there. And then they're still contemplating what to do with Manu. That's a lot of the money you talked about, the wages Sancho, Anthony, Rashford. I don't think Garnacho's wages were that high or big, but even Højlund had decent wages coming his way. Yeah, astronomical what Manchester United used as expenditures for their players, for their transfers, and for the wages that they had to hold on to these players. But I guess you got to overpay some of these players to stay, considering they know what they're getting into.
if you're gonna join a club that's not winning, you gotta pay big wages, bro, to attract these players. You know, United ain't got no Europe this season. The only way they got Cunha and Mbembe because they're gonna offer them 100, 200 grand more what they're getting already. Not simple as.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Man United are done. Good.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, we went over the normal 2-hour mark, but since Nolante just rejoined us, I'm gonna allow for JK. Do you have anything you want to bring up or speak on before we go and allow for the people to enjoy the rest of their evening? I know it's
like I
about to
was
be
saying,
late for you as well.
it's been a hectic transfer window. A lot of waiting game and stuff like that. It wasn't. I think if we get the Guehi transfer complete, it would have been a top window. That fell through, but it's still been a good window, bro. Isaac and Wirtz for me, top signings. So yeah, man, looking forward to the next game.
Oh, shoot! There was something. We have. I'll extend for.
That's the fee I had in mind for Harvey, by the way. Sorry, 12.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
That's the fee I had in mind for Harvey, 35. I thought more than that was asking too much. Yeah, 35 sounds good to me.
We'll have a buyback and someone calls 30 million. I think the reason why it was so low from that 50 million original evaluation, again, this is only my perspective, is that because it does include a buyback deal and it does include sell-on clauses, you know, with those kinds of options included, you can take off your hard line fee when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It's not to be sniffed at. 35 million is what we got for Kwanzaa as well. We got money for Morton, money for Trent, money for Doak. It all adds up, doesn't it? And obviously the Luke, Joe and Nunes ones were the big ones, but we've done great business, haven't we?
Chips are being played, like the decks are being played, you know what I mean?
Yeah, us ourselves, we've done great business. It was Crystal Palace that let us down by not searching hard enough for a replacement or searching hard and not finding one. It sounded like a pretty pathetic attempt right at the last minute to get Igor Julio from Brighton, and it sounded like it was half-hearted. No wonder he failed the medical or whatever it was that went wrong, because he didn't want it to happen.
Can I
ask there all along, I think.
I asked, this is what I did. There was something I wanted to say. Hopefully, we still got a great number of people in the chat and listening along, whether you're listening along on X or whether you're following along on YouTube. Appreciate it. If you're on X, stop on over to YouTube. You know, give us a subscribe or a like, either or both. Be greatly appreciated. Help build the channel. But this is what I wanted to talk about. There was something else I wanted to talk about because we were just talking about United. It did figure a synopsis in my head to remind you guys of this comment. So Peter Schmeichel, after the Liverpool versus Arsenal game, had a comment that I thought was very, very interesting. He went on to say this, and this is quoted. Describing the game, he said, quote, Arsenal has an ugly brand of football that is so annoying to watch and primarily designed to win set-piece situations rather than to entertain or play free-flowing football. The former Manchester United goalkeeper urged manager Arteta to let the talent loose, believing that enabling the players to play with more freedom would make them more entertaining and ultimately more successful. Not often will you hear me agree with Peter Schmeichel. I guess I could keep the streak going because then by giving Arteta any bit of a clue as to how to make his team better isn't what I want to have done. Okay, so maybe I will. I'll stick my britches and say that Peter Schmeichel's wrong. But what do you think about this statement?
Look, bro, I think when you look at Arteta's Arsenal, they've become like a solid outfit. But what it is with them, they haven't had the players like a Mane, Bobby Firmino, and a Salah up top to finish off the business. Like, look at the chances yesterday. They had a few sort of openings where their right winger, the one they got from Chelsea, he sort of got in sort of positions where they could have scored, and they didn't take them chances, bro. Defensively sound, a beauty from Szoboszlai won the game. But if you haven't got the players who are going to finish off games for you, his record against Liverpool, City, who was the other teams? Everton. He's never won there. I think he's had one win at Forest. That's it. So he isn't great away from home. He's like, you don't want to win, you don't want to lose. So he's happy with the draw tactics. You got to let your players go lose sometimes. You know what I mean? But Arteta, he spent over nearly $1 billion now, so he can't really moan. He look at the subs he made. Odegaard and Eze came on. Come on.
This is it. This insult will do anything to Arteta and the way he's going to play this season. Peter Schmeichel saying this won't have any effect on him. He'll continue to do exactly that all season long in pursuit of the title.
I think Arteta would double down, Lee.
Yes. He could conceivably get even worse.
Yeah.
From that point of view, worse, but possibly more consistent.
Look, bro,
Here, Peter Schmeichel, who obviously is a diehard Manchester United fan, and obviously he had some of his best years with that club. For him to go as far as to say, "quote I have never in my life ever wanted a team to win a game of football more than Liverpool, more than Liverpool today. Arsenal bring on ugly brand of football to our game."
Wow.
That's
Don't let Roy Keane hear him say that.
Yeah,
well, that's the only thing he's never in his life done. He's never in his life said anything flattering about Liverpool. Not that necessarily flatters us. He was just saying off the two of them yesterday what Arsenal were up to. Can't be having it.
Yeah. That's why it was really, really interesting to see him say that. I was like, I've never heard Peter Schmeichel say really much of a compliment towards Liverpool.
I haven't. And even if he did, it'd be through gritted teeth. So to speak out this vociferously, and this directly in the press is hilarious. But it won't do anything, as we said, to Arteta. He'd be like, so what?
Arteta, I totally agree, though, with you. I think Arteta will see this comment, or Arteta will probably be asked about this comment some way, somehow, and he'll blow it off, and it'll be his excuse to double down and try to prove that his style of football is the correct way.
I can't remember who he got after the break. Who did they come back to as a game? Arsenal after the break. Ours is Burnley.
I'll tell you. I was going to say, though, just come back to try to emphasize what he's not a friend of. I don't even think he knows this show, but I do. I think I'm subscribed to his. I believe I'm subscribed to his show, his channel, just to kind of get insight as to what some of the delusional Arsenal fans think. And Egal, who has Arteta as being top 5, one of the top 5 managers in Europe. Not just in the Premier League. This guy is going as far as to say that Arteta is a genius and is top 5. Top 5.
I think he uses that as a marketing tool for his channel. I'll support the guy everyone hates. So job done, you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, it's got people talking about him. Yeah, but that's just completely
marketing.
Top 5.
What Arteta seems to be saying is, don't believe the evidence of your eyes, that the way I play is boring and shit. just appreciate where I get with it. Like, I've come close so far several
Aren't you
times.
saying
I
top
might
five?
just get there,
Are you
yes.
getting points? Is he get for you to say you're top 5? You would think it would require you winning something.
FA Cup corner.
For you to be
Come on,
top
G.
5 will require you winning something.
It's so long since they've won anything substantial, i.e. the Premier League or the Champions League, which they've never won.
Right. Okay. I heard, big up Cal from Coppish, by the way, a friend of the channel, who was on a telecast with him, and he brought up a point about they were trying to go back and forth about that assessment about Arteta, and it was interesting. Arteta, when utilizing Arteta, he's like, oh well, he's won a major trophy, he's won an FA Cup, and I'm like, okay, he won an FA Cup with Emery's team. Oh well, no, it was his team. It was his team. Well, if it's his team, then he also gets credit with an 8th place finish, which is what that team that he took over ended up in the standings. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, "Oh, this is Arteta's team because he won the FA Cup," but it's not Arteta's team. It's Emery's team because they ended up in 8th place. You can't do that. You have to take both. And other than that, FA Cups all fantastic and well and good. But winning an FA Cup is not equivalent to a Premier League title nor a Champions League title in any retribute. And saying you got 2nd place is not something that you're going to say, oh well, that's the reason why he's top 5, because he got 2nd place in the Premier League. He didn't win anything. You know how much. Oh, I was hoping Lante would weigh in on that too. But you know how much like black people gave us for being 2nd place. I guess it's poor. But again, we know for some reasons why he says it. But all the same, ugly brand of football. Peter Schmeichel speaking on Arsenal. Didn't think we would see it, but
no, it's very direct of him, like, to say that. Let's just say he didn't just say the game bored me today. He said they bore me as a side.
yeah,
in general. And yeah, as I said, he's never said anything nice about us before. Why would he? We were his arch enemy, like we are the arch enemy.
Very telling.
Especially in those early third year of players' minds, as soon as they come in, he was like, they're a bunch of bastards, then I hate them with passion. Go out there and play against them. So, yeah, for him to say that's quite good. Thanks. I enjoyed that endorsement of our playing style being infinitely preferable to Arsenal's.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter Schmeichel, Gary Neville, who else? Scholes, Keane. Like you don't expect to hear a real like over the top admiration from those players. Those players were pretty staunchly anti-Liverpool, for sure. They give credit where credit's due. I've seen Scholes. I've seen Scholes say something that I've said for quite some time. I think it upset a lot of Red Devils out there. But Scholes went as far as to say that Steven Gerrard is a better player than him. It's tough to hear, maybe, to some of those out there, but those are his words, not mine. Those were his words, not mine, and that's why it's not easy to say or hear, but it's the truth. He's like We're at the 2.5 hour mark. We have to end this show. We'll be talking about 17 different topics pretty soon. But yes. Look, let's end this. Let's end this before I get too sidetracked, But yes, I do want to emphasize that for those out there that say, Paul Scholes is better than Stevie G, Paul Scholes has come out and said that he thinks that Stevie is a better player, describing Gerrard as a more athletic individual, a match-winning player, whereas Scholes saw himself as part of a team, and less of an individual player. So Scholes saw himself as being the reason why Scholes' talents were so well defined was because he had an incredible team around him that allowed for him to do the things he had to do. Stevie G had to put a team. He said in himself he did not think that he could do what Stevie G did, which was put a team on his back, basically.
I hope Zubermendi reads that Schmeichel quote so he can realise what he's joined, but he turned us down to join that boring crap.
Isak's first interview is up, so yes, if you want to do, I heard that it is a fun one. I read some of the transcript earlier, but if you do want to see it in full, it is up. Go check it out. I'm sure it's probably a hoot. Lee, would you like to say goodbye to the people?
Yeah, thanks everyone. Shame we didn't get Guehi at the end, but we've got plenty of plus points anyway coming up. And it's the international break now, isn't it? Window's shut. Here's the break. A couple of weeks to wait and see what happens when we come back. That derby will be quite tasty after the Burnley game. It's 12:30 as well. It's one of them. But yeah, I mean, 3 from 3. Can't argue, can you? 3 wins from 3, and we haven't played really that good in any of the 3 games, but still won all 3. So everything's great, isn't it?
You asked for the games that Arsenal have coming back off of the break. They go home to take on Forest. Then they go to Athletic Club for the European Champions League competition. Then they face Manchester City at the Emirates. And then they take on Newcastle at St. James Park. So Arsenal will have a nice little run of games when they come back. We'll see. That's why those 3 points were so big. So big. JK said his goodbye. Lee said his goodbye. Nwante, would you like to say your peace out?
Yeah, big up the channel, big up panel, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And my pieces will be in the next shows, what I got to say. Peace out.
Okay. I got you. All right. Nolante will be with us in the next show to kind of give you some Nolante exclusive. All right. But until then, people, we hope that you are all well. If you're not, that you do get on the mend and start to feel well and feel better. I know it's always makes me feel better when I see Reds join and when I see the very, very robust numbers, I will say, that we've been getting lately, and it's just continuing to grow and grow, and I appreciate each and every one of you, but I think that's what we should do anyway. I support Reds. I support almost every Red channel I can, and I hope that you do the same. So we look forward to seeing you back, and until then, always remember you'll never walk alone, and most importantly too, up the Reds each and every time. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. We have a cool show tomorrow. Either going to do a rating show or we're going to do an update as to on some of these news items. But we will get a really good show together for you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.